Well, hello there, breathers.
And welcome back
to another episode
of
All My Favorite People
Are Dead.
I'm Shannon Butler.
You are?
Yeah.
I thought I was Shannon Butler.
Your hair's too dark.
Oh, then I must be Sue Teresi.
Yeah.
Oh, I am.
Yay.
Okay. Here we go. Round and round we go.
More dead people to talk about. Oh, I wanted to actually start about with mentioning a pretty recent and messed up death that happened in Pennsylvania.
Okay. What'd you do?
No, I didn't do it.
Oh, okay. What did I do?
You didn't do anything?
Good.
So
okay.
You know how I feel about Olive Garden.
You hate
right?
Olive Garden.
I hate Olive Garden.
She hates Olive Garden.
I disdain Olive Garden.
And sometimes I say to her, let's go out and grab a bite. And
no.
she goes, where do you want to go? And I go, Olive Garden, just to piss her off.
Well, I have a new reason to hate Olive Garden.
It's like icky and dirty and they serve rats.
Okay,
what's the story with that?
Last week, an unnamed chef from an Olive Garden in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, was working when suddenly he began stripping off his clothes.
In the Olive Garden?
In the Olive Garden.
Okay.
And dunked his head into the deep fryer in the kitchen. Yeah. Essentially frying himself to death.
Yummy.
Terrified coworkers were burned in the process of trying to pull him out of said deep fryer at said Olive Garden.
I'm going to ask a stupid question. Why?
So the police who responded to the scene called it an attempted suicide. I'd say a successful one, actually. The restaurant closed, probably just long enough to replace the oil in the fryers, because they reopened it 48 hours later.
Come on now.
48 hours after
Well, isn't that enough time to clean out an air fryer?
It's not an air fryer, it's a deep fryer.
Never. A deep air fryer.
There's a difference.
Like, how long does it take to clean out a thing like that?
I mean, wouldn't all the staff also be traumatized from witnessing their coworker commit suicide right there in the air? Now you gotta be saying a deep fryer.
Deep air fryer.
Deep air fryer. I mean,
I don't know. That's okay. So obviously he had some kind of mental stuff going down.
He must have
killed himself at work.
Yes.
And they opened 48 hours later.
Yeah.
Well, the breadsticks got to go on.
That is disgusting. That is no.
I'm sure they ordered a new one.
But honestly, look, I know times are tough, right?
That's exactly it. You got to stay open.
The world is a fucking dumpster fire. I can understand not wanting to spend another day on Earth, but there are more peaceful ways to go than burning yourself alive in a deep fucking fryer.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I don't know. Well, all right. People do kill themselves at work.
Oh, I know that.
Or they do public. They jump off bridges or in front of oncoming whatever.
That's fucking painful as shit.
Well, there's anything. Yeah, okay. I'm not. You got me on this one. But
yeah, I mean,
in Olive Garden's defense, or any restaurant's defense, you throw out or clean the machine or get a new one or whatever, and then
disgusting.
You just hate Olive Garden, and you're looking for any excuse.
You
really hate that place.
I really do.
I know you do. I know you do. You know what? I think for your birthday, I'm going to get you a gift card.
No,
bitch. There. Why not?
Bitch, no. No.
You really hate their breadsticks?
I really do.
Why? They're really good.
No, they're not good.
The breadsticks are really good.
No. You know what? No, I'd rather go to Texas Roadhouse and have their bread.
See, I've never been there.
Well, no, because you're vegetarian.
Yeah, they got nothing there for me. The word Roadhouse kind of kills it. If you're not a meat eater. You know.
Anyway, so on that note,
well, you just hate that place, so you're looking for any excuse. But I feel really bad for that guy.
Fake Italian restaurant. Yeah, I know. I feel
bad. It's like Taco Bell is. Wait, that's not real Mexican.
I don't know Taco Bell.
You like Taco Bell, but not Olive Garden. You see what I have to work with? Breathers. Wow, Taco Bell is not real Mexican food, Shannon.
Okay.
All right, we can agree to disagree.
Sure.
Okay. Very good. So, where do you want to go with this?
And we gotta go find a place.
We're gonna go
on
out.
that note. Anyway, so that I thought I'd start the episode with a really weird way to go. But we're actually
in the deep fry. Is that like where you put the fries and stuff, like the deep fryer thing? Yeah. He just put his face in there.
Just stuck his whole head in the deep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ouch. Yeah. Was he drunk?
Well, I saw a video on TikTok. No, there was a video on TikTok where someone was like, he was high on PCP.
He had to have been, because nobody would stick their head in burning hot oil. Nobody would willingly do that.
No.
He must have. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe he thought he was washing his hair because he was high on drugs. Is that possible?
Maybe.
Is that possible? I don't know. Wow, scary. Alrighty then.
So we're going to talk about
you want to talk about,
an actual. We don't even know the name of the guy who killed himself at the Olive Garden. We don't know his name.
Okay. That's okay. I don't.
Police are holding that back.
Yeah, I don't think I want to know. He's the deep fryer guy.
The deep fryer guy. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to know.
So the dude we're actually going to be talking about today.
Okay.
Is somebody I've been researching at work for like the past week. And I thought he was so interesting that I thought, he deserves a podcast. Because probably nobody knows who he is. But they know the last name.
Okay. But wait.
Vassar.
Vassar. I've heard that name. My major question is, did this guy own a deep fryer?
No.
Okay. We're good. No. All right, breathers. We're good. Buckle up.
All right. So for anyone who's ever lost a parent, life can be a bit of a struggle. Right? It was even harder in the 19th century, especially if you lost your dad, who's most likely the breadwinner.
Sure.
Let's face it, ladies had no power and didn't work in the traditional workforce sense in the 19th century, like the dudes did. So a woman's work was at home and, that's it. In May of 1811, an explosion occurred at the Vassar family brewery, which was right here in Poughkeepsie. Mm-hmm. The Vassars had started this brewery business back in the early 1800s, and they were doing pretty well, making some good beer and some good money. John Guy Vassar Sr., who was about 22 years old, went to check the damage at the brewery.
Okay.
And he ended up suffocating to death in the burnt-out ruins of this building from carbonic acid fumes.
So he went to check, and he
went to check and see the damages, and he breathed in these toxic fumes and died. He's 22.
Oh, right? poor guy.
A month later, on June 15th, 1811, his namesake, John Guy Vassar Jr., was born. Born into a world without a father.
So he died a month before the baby was born.
Yep.
He didn't get to see his son.
Now, he did have another son, an older son. Matthew Vassar Jr.
Okay.
Now, for those of you who are a little confused, Matthew Vassar Sr. is the founder of Vassar College.
Okay.
And he would be the younger brother of the guy who died in the fire.
Okay.
Right? So the Matthew Sr. is like 19 years old when his brother dies. And so now there's these two boys, and he decides to raise them.
Okay.
He's a good brother. He's going to raise these two kids.
He's going to raise his brother's children.
He doesn't have any children of his own. Okay. So he takes care of Matthew Vassar Jr. and John Guy Vassar.
Okay.
So he would actually educate the boys, take good care of them, and they actually did quite well because Matthew Vassar Sr. is quite wealthy. So they're sitting pretty, right?
Okay.
When they came of age in 1832, he involved them in the family business as partners. So now these young guys are working in the brewery. They rebuilt the family brewery down at the riverfront where Warriors Park is today.
Okay. That was the brewery.
That was where the brewery was, yeah. Okay. So John Guy Vassar Jr., he's working in the family brewery. And unfortunately, he only does this for a couple of years because he's plagued with ill health. As a young man. His doctors said that his ailments were of a bronchial affliction. Okay. So his doctors also recommended that he stop working and travel for his health. And he took that remedy quite seriously. I would too. I'm like, if my
you got to do what you got to do. You can't put a price on your health. I'm just going to work. I think I'm going to go somewhere nice and warm and not work.
I'm going to sit on the beach.
Yeah. Bring it.
Let's do it. So he began his travels in 1839 by taking a boat to Havana. And a newspaper later on in 1875 put it, he has been consistently on the go during the intervening 35 years, returning home every year or two. So not bad. He's just spending every chance he gets on a ship traveling overseas.
Can't blame him.
Now, he visited Europe, Africa, Asia, and then ventured back home out west to the Indian territories. He's checking out, the Rocky Mountains, checking out all the territories out there. Yeah, at the time, they're not states, they're territories, right? So while he's making all these travels, he's writing home to his brother Matthew Jr., He's writing home to the local newspapers, right? The Poughkeepsie Journal is getting some of his notes on his travels overseas, and they're publishing them. They're like, hey, this is good stuff. Let's publish all of his stories of what he's seeing and what he's experiencing. So he decided that he would publish his stories in book form in 1862. The book became known as 20 Years Around the World, and it was released in 1862 and did quite well. It was a very personal account of his explorations and a reflection of his fascination of the world and its various societies. The book didn't make him wealthy. He was already wealthy. He actually was still a partner in the family brewery business.
Okay.
And he invested really wisely in railroads and other endeavors as well. So he was a smart man. So he basically these investments and things would allow him to basically be the Santa Claus of the 19th century, traveling all over the world. Yeah. By the time he had reached his early 70s, he decided that he should come home and settle, right? He's always had ill health, so it's probably not best to be traveling the world in your 70s, right? When your health is already kind of crappy. So he settles back home in Poughkeepsie. He never married, though. He never had kids, which also explains why he's able to travel everywhere.
Right.
Smart.
Yeah.
So he spends his later years with his brother Matthew. The two of them pretty much start working on their endeavors, their philanthropic endeavors, which they'll take very seriously. Poughkeepsie really benefits from these guys.
Yeah.
Also, what's interesting is I found an interesting obituary in the Poughkeepsie Journal later on that read, John Guy, never having been married and never having been a member of any church, he may, however, be written down as one who loved his fellow men. And I'm like, is this the local paper's way of outing this guy? Or is this just their
but you don't
terminology at the time? Like,
but would they have done that at the time?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Just the way they worded it. He who loved his fellow men. I'm like, oh. Okay.
I could be wrong. I mean, I know to you and I it sounds it, and that's okay too. But I think that was just their way of saying how generous.
Yeah, he was generous.
The brothers were.
I think that's true too. So they started their very first philanthropic endeavor was to establish a hospital here in Poughkeepsie, right? Vassar Brothers Hospital, right? They started that in November of 1872. I was born there, woo, you know. And of course, the main hospital that they built is long gone, but the hospital, it's a Vassar Hospital, it's still, it's grown, it's
big
expanded.
Institution.
It looks nothing like it did back in the 1870s.
I can't imagine.
It was a beautiful, like Gothic looking castle back then.
Yeah, now it's a very modern, facility.
They also gave money to Vassar College, right? The college that their uncle had started back in the 1860s. They built a laboratory. The Vassar Laboratory was built by them. Vassar Home for Aged Men was another thing that they created in 1880, and that was a place for older men to go and kind of convalesce. Retire, yeah. And that building is still standing on Main Street in Vassar, and that's now the Cooney and Hackett Art Center here in Poughkeepsie. So
they really gave back to the community in multiple facets.
They also built the Vassar Institute for Science, Arts, and Literature in 1882. So that was another, and that building's still standing right across the street from the Hackett Arts. It's all part of the Cooney and Hackett Art Center. Same, two different buildings though.
Lovely contributions.
Yeah, so they were like really beneficial to Poughkeepsie benefited from their kindness and their vision. Now, his brother, Matthew Jr., died in 1881, and John decided to consider one last charitable outlet to take on by himself, and that was an orphanage. Right? So, on October 18th, 1886, a mention appeared in the Poughkeepsie Eagle newspaper about the old College Hill property being purchased.
Okay.
Now, those of you who are not from Poughkeepsie, there's this big, beautiful hill in Poughkeepsie called College Hill. The reason it's called College Hill is because back in the 1830s, a boys' college was built there. The beautiful building had once looked like the Parthenon, and it was a fabulous piece of property. The park still exists today. There's a golf course up there. There's hiking trails, and it's a great site that needs to be utilized. I'll be doing walking tours there this summer.
Yeah. Outside?
Yeah, absolutely. You better.
I'm the truth. I will sign up.
But the hill had been sitting vacant for a long time. Like they had tried to establish a hotel up there, nothing really happened. So suddenly there was this news in the paper that it had been purchased. Everyone's like, "Who bought it? Oh my god!" And then when news got around that John Guy Vassar had bought it, everyone who saw him on the streets of Poughkeepsie is like, "Oh, you know what you need to do with College Hill? You need to build a hotel.
We need a this. We need a that. Yeah,
blah, blah.
You know what they really should have built?
What's that?
An Olive Garden.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
No.
I don't know. I didn't see him building that.
No.
All right, fine.
So.
Gotcha. I made you laugh.
Fucking Olive Garden.
Made you laugh.
So John Guy Vassar suddenly decided that he would, quote, build an asylum for orphans that would be built and would allow legitimate orphans to come in regardless of race or creed.
Wow.
Which
that was a novel thing back then.
It really was. Like, he was clearly a guy who had this, and it makes sense, right? Because he was orphaned before he was even born, right?
Right.
His father died when he was young. So he's got this feeling like, I want to take care of kids who don't have, So
it's a wonderful gift to be compassionate like that.
Absolutely.
Because everything he built was to take care, a college and an orphanage and a hospital to really take care of, somebody else would have put, bars or right?
Yeah.
They would have gone that with brothel. Who the hell knows, right?
We had plenty of those in Poughkeepsie.
Yeah, but he wasn't making any. He was actually doing good for the community.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Somebody else may not have.
No, exactly.
They would have, found ways to make money doing other, less noble, acts of charity.
Well, speaking of less noble,
here we go.
So he didn't get a chance to see his vision through because, unfortunately, he passed away before the plans got all the way done.
For the orphanage.
Yeah. His as early as August of 1887, this is where it gets a little weird, John's obituary was appearing in newspapers across the country. The problem was, he hadn't actually died yet.
Wait, what? What, they were printing his obituary and he was still alive?
Yeah.
Why?
So everyone knew his health was poor. So
they were helping him along.
There's this death watch going on throughout the whole country because he's a very wealthy man, and there's newspapers all over the country.
I'm not dead yet. I feel like going for a walk. I'm feeling like a Monty Python skit.
No, this is a Monty Python thing because he's literally sitting there reading his obituary in papers across the country.
I think I'm dead. Am I dead?
Am I dead? Like, here, I actually have. I printed this out. This is actually, look at this. Can read his own obituaries. This is from Poughkeepsie, New York, May 24th. Mr. John Guy Vassar, founder of Vassar Brothers Hospital, has been seriously ill for several months, and whose obituary was printed in several newspapers, was well enough yesterday to appear in his carriage on a fashionable drive of the city. So he's literally like, you motherfuckers, I'm not dead yet. I'm going to get in my carriage and drive around the city so people know.
Just to prove that I'm alive.
I'm not dead.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It's a little premature.
Yeah, he was actually able to read about his life and inevitable death in the Glens Falls newspaper, the Post-Star, and the Altoona Tribune actually marked him as dead on August 16th, 1887. They were a little over a year off.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Must have laughed.
I hope he did. I hope he.
You have to.
Yeah. Sadly, death did eventually come for John Guy Vassar Jr. on October 27th, 1888. So a whole year after.
They're just waiting around like vultures. Waiting for him to die.
He was 77 years old.
That's young by today's standards.
Before his passing, he made it quite clear in his will. I read his last will and testament. We've got the will in our collections.
Okay.
I read it. He makes it very clear that he wanted the plans to move forward on his orphanage, right?
Okay.
And that $181,000 was to be taken from his estate in order to make this happen. Right? And that he wanted his family to actually work with New York State legislators to move this forward. Like, he laid it all out in his will very clearly, right? That all sounds good in theory. But it didn't sound good to many of his cousins and distant relatives.
The vultures?
They were all pissed that they were only getting between $500 and $1,000 each.
So they wanted the orphanage, the money that was earmarked for the orphanage.
Yeah.
they decided that's mine.
Yeah.
Of course they did.
So they actually took his will to the Supreme Court here in Poughkeepsie. And it took almost 3 years. And I mean, literally dozens and dozens of lawyers. But finally, in 1891, the heirs were able to make the claim that the creation of the orphanage was invalid. And they were therefore entitled to that money.
So they were contesting the will because that's obviously their money. Even though that's not what he wanted.
Right.
And they didn't care.
They didn't care. They didn't give a shit.
I bet they did nothing for him when he was alive and sick.
There were literally distant relatives out west.
Yep.
Who were this one old guy wrote a poem in his local newspaper about how, I'm the distant poor cousin who doesn't have any money. John Guy Vassar did so well.
Yeah, and he never met me.
You're right. You know, and it's like, dude, what the fuck?
Vultures.
Yeah, total vultures.
It's terrible.
So, anyway, so the orphanage never happened.
Right, so the relatives did get the money?
They got the money. Yep.
That sucks.
Yeah, they won. Yeah, they got the 100.
But that was his last will. How do you prove? How do you contest it and go, well, that's what he did.
That's what he said, yeah. I know. There was some scheming going on because even the local newspaper was like, this is messed up.
They get paid.
Yeah. Somewhere along the line.
To hell with those damn orphans.
Yeah, fuck them.
I need the money from a relative I never met, damn it.
I need the money for a new grandmother clock for my fancy house.
That's right.
So, in the end, John had certainly meant well, and he had definitely lived a good life, but there is only so much you can control about what people do and say once you're dead, or, in John's case, close to death.
Gee.
I know. So he's buried at Poughkeepsie Rural Cemetery.
Yeah.
When and I didn't really know anything about him. I always take the time to talk about his uncle, Matthew Vassar, who started Vassar College, right? Cool. He's like the famous one. But the two brothers, John Guy and Matthew, did a lot for the community as well. All the Vassars did really great things, except for the cousins and distant cousins who were like, well, fuck that, we want money.
So we don't talk about them.
Yeah. We just talk about, the good guys.
The people that, you milk money for an orphanage.
Right.
You used to be really, really, really like scummy.
Entitled.
And entitled too. And scummy and underhanded to take money from an orphanage.
No.
We don't need an orphanage.
I think some of them were probably like, well, we already have the home for the friendless. That's enough.
That's awful. That really is. You literally, taking candy from a baby. That's just, right,
Well, there you have it.
He tried.
He did try, damn it.
He tried.
He lived a good life.
And he did leave them money. He just didn't leave them enough for them. It's not like he didn't leave them anything.
I mean, if you look at, it's 1888?
$500.
That's a lot of money back then.
Was nothing to sneeze at back then.
His estate, he had I think about a little over $2 million in his estate.
And he left it to, it's not like they weren't getting anything.
Right.
But it's just never enough.
Never enough. I'm sure they were pissed that he left a lot of money to the hospital and the college.
Right. Anybody who wasn't them.
They couldn't stop that because those institutions already existed, but they could stop the orphanage because that hadn't been finalized.
What a shame.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So that was my fun research this past week that I did for work. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to talk about him on my podcast.
You should. You totally should because it's a name worth mentioning.
I think so.
Well, there you have it, breathers.
And that was another...
Interesting.
Educational.
Weird. Well, they're all weird.
They're all weird.
Do we ever do anything that's not weird?
No.
Unfair. Right? Totally unfair.
Unfair episode of... All my favorite people are dead. Bye, breathers.
Dead.